Let's not stay the same. That's why we started this podcast in the first place. Take that step, because you're going to be different tomorrow. You're going to be different the next day. And if we don't do this, we may never actually go. Welcome to the Full Vantage Podcast today. My name is Trevor, and whether this is your first time, 10th time, or you join us weekly, this episode is unique. It's about risk, it's about relationships, and it's about you not missing what the future has for you, what could come into view of your life. So let's dive into it, and let's see how we can actually move forward, because I keep spending time with people who have dreams and have aspirations, but they don't know how to keep stepping toward them. So here we go. If I were to give this one a title, it would be something like this: The Risk You Cannot Afford to Miss. What if I told you the greatest risk of your life is doing nothing? The difference between people who win and the people who wish is one decision, one risk, and most people never take it. When you hear that quote, how does it make you feel? What does it make you think about? I want to encourage you to let it sink in. And as we lean into this content today, as we lean into this video, I want to talk about risk and reward. Not in a reckless way, don't get it twisted. Not as an excuse because we were inappropriate with the calculations, with the understanding of the risk that we were taking. Not in a gambling way, but in a way that actually moves you toward the life you actually want. Because here's the truth. Most people aren't stopped by fear. They're stopped by distraction. We think the biggest risk is taking action and failing. But I want you to consider this. What if the real risk is staying the same? I heard it recently, and I've seen this play out recently, that the most wealthy people are actually really intellectual when it comes to being quick to make decisions and quick to take calculated risks, because they learn fast and then they apply what they learn, which in some ways is how they are calculating intelligence. So let me ask it again. What if the real risk is staying the same? Imagine you're crossing a desert, chasing a mountain in the distance. That mountain, your dream. The business, the calling, the life you actually want. But as you walk, mirages start appearing to your left and to your right, in front of you, maybe even behind you. These little distractions that promise comfort in the middle of the desert on our way to where we want to go. A cool drink here, maybe that's an extra hour of scrolling. Hey, I need to relax at the end of the day. I need to let my mind calm down. Well, then we catch ourselves doom scrolling on a regular basis, right? This is what we talk about consistently. Maybe there's a little shade over here. That's another year in a job that we don't like. You know, that shade is a good spot for us to relax. There's some comfort there. There's consistency there. I feel pretty good, but I'm not really where I want to be. And so I'm going to stay here for a little while. A job we don't like, a job we weren't made to do. Maybe it's the thing that we're not creating that we have always wanted to create. And then we see maybe the mirage is a tempting shortcut. It's a course, it's a book, it's a podcast. It's these things that we consume, but we never actually do anything about those things. Those are a few examples of the distractions that come up on a regular basis. See, the thing we need to know is every time you stop, every time I stop for a mirage, we lose momentum. And suddenly, years go by. You're still in the desert. The mountain has never moved, and you just stopped walking. Risk isn't about jumping blindly. Risk is about refusing to stay stuck. It's time for you and I to refuse to stay stuck. Last night, I was tired, and I wanted to just relax, do nothing. But the three little people that I care about most, those three amazing kids that I have, wanted to play. They wanted me to read them a book. They wanted to do a puzzle. They wanted to do things with me. Am I going to let myself being tired stop me from enjoying them? The way that I approach my time with them, if it's conceited and prideful, is this is my time, I'm tired. But if I realize that I did nothing to receive the time that I have, and this time is a gift that I've been given, then I can start approaching my time with them is in a grateful state. How am I going to spend this time I've been given? And then I see them in a grateful light, and I start realizing that I want to spend my life in a grateful way, actually getting value in things that are actually valuable. And I want to go somewhere. So let me say it again. Risk is about refusing to stay stuck. I refuse to stay where I am as the people and the things around me grow and go somewhere. I am choosing to go with them and to go where I really want to go. Here's what people don't tell you. The longer you wait, the more that it costs you. You want to start the business, every year you wait, you lose money, you lose confidence, you lose dedication, you lose the idea. You want to take your health seriously, every year you delay, your body pays the price. You want to get closer to God, every day you put it off, you get a little more numb and a little further away from Him. Time is the one thing you cannot get back. And here's the wild thing. If you think about time as a gift, it can actually change everything. And you start approaching your life with gratitude, just like I was talking about. Because when you see time as a gift, you stop waiting for permission and you stop playing it safe. You stop letting fear dictate your decisions, and you can begin to say, I have a gift and I want to use this gift to impact both my life and those around me. This is the reality check we all need. With this reality check that we all need, let's be smart about this, though. Now, before you go quit your job, before you go sell your house, before you go start this new thing or do something reckless, let's talk about wise risk. Risk isn't about becoming a wrecking ball. It's a tool. And here's how to know if a risk is worth taking. If you're wanting to assess it, first, what's the worst thing that could happen? And can I handle it? 2, what's the best that could happen? And am I ready for it? 3, what happens if I do nothing? Because regret compounds over time. The best risks, even if you fail, you grow. Even if you fail, you grow. And if you don't take this risk, you already know the outcomes. And as you begin to let this sink in, one of the hardest things that I think we have to assess when it comes to risk is where we actually are and what we actually value and what the problem is we're trying to solve for. And if we can do more preparation, we will be more prepared to take the risk that we actually need to take. And as we prepare ourselves, we need to realize this, that there is a regret time machine. And if we can fast forward 10 years, if we can fast forward to the future version of ourselves, maybe even, I've heard it said, is the future 80-year-old version of yourself, you're sitting there and you're thinking back on today. You're thinking back on your life. And you had a choice, and you had choices, and you had the choice, but you played it safe, or you had the choice and you didn't play it safe. And now you're asking yourself this question: was avoiding the risk really worth it? Or would I give anything to go back and take that first step again? Don't wait until you're older to realize you should have moved. Surround yourself with people that encourage you to move. Take a step toward the direction you want to go. And if you think about the biggest risk you can take, what would that look like? And then we need to think about the next 24 hours. Because as I'm even talking about this, many people have already turned this off. But I want to encourage the few people that are still with me. Because if you're still with me, then you have the next 24 hours could change everything for you. And I genuinely believe that. So let's go together. Let's see how these next 24 hours could actually change everything. So if you're still with me, then where are we going to go? What are we going to do? I want you to give me these 90 seconds. And I want you to actually think about where you are. Because here's the deal. The next 24 hours, if you want to take one small risk toward what you actually want, you can actually take steps toward where you really want to go. Where you send the email, where you make the call, where you apply for the thing, where you say no to the distractions, where you get clear about where you want to go, where you actually begin to dream and write out the dreams and the aspirations. And when you do this, why don't you DM me? DM us on Full Vantage Pod on Instagram. Tell us what risk you took. Be as simple as possible. Maybe even just make a comment in this video right now. What's the risk that you took? What's the risk you want to take? Because I guarantee you this. If you don't act now, you may never act. If you don't act in the next 24 hours, you may never actually take that step because you're going to be different tomorrow. You're going to be different the next day. And if we don't do this, we may never actually go. The biggest risk isn't that you fail. It's that you stay the same. So let's get after it. Let's not stay the same. That's why we started this podcast in the first place. We were just meeting with a guy in this room who is the marketing director of this local outdoor company that has aspirations and goals, and he's taken risk after risk. And what's fascinating to me is we talked about the fullness of getting the different vantage points that we need to get us to where we actually want to go. So if you are here, whether it's one person, 10 people, 3 people, 300 people, it doesn't matter to me. The thing that matters to me is we need to have this conversation so that one of you actually gets to where they want to go. So that's where we are. That's why we're here. So let's not miss it. And this is just a few minutes of me trying to encourage you to not miss it, because guess what? I don't want to miss it. I can't live a life that misses it, the things that actually matter. So let's go, and let's go together.